What's up, guys? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. So we've got a lot to cover today. You know, when the forecast was coming out at 12:40 Central, that we've got a ton to cover. So we're going to try to keep it short, but we're going to start us out with the recap of yesterday. We did get a 3- and a 4-star map that we're going to go over with you guys. And then getting into today, lots of activity on the table. We got a Central Plains risk, a South Texas risk, as well as a Mid-Atlantic risk. Going over it all, and then getting into tomorrow. If you guys are in Denver, hey Denver, it's been a while. There could be a front range risk for you guys into tomorrow. Those risks are slowly starting to shift back that way. Hail season could be picking up if you guys are along the Rocky Mountains. So we're going to talk about all of our risks in a second, but first, quick recap. We are doing the Atlas All-Stars Stadium Tour. Derek is the keynote speaker, and the next event is on May 18th in Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. So if you guys are out there, if you're from Denver watching today, you can come say hello to Derek. We'll have some giveaways, and he's talking weather at the sports stadiums. So go see Derek at the next event, Atlas All-Stars Stadium Tour. And if you can't make it to that one, we have a ton more. We're going to be across the nation all of this summer. So we got plenty of chances for you guys to see us. Now yesterday, lots of wind across the Pacific Northwest, and then we started getting hail. Let's see, the storm that hit Trenton, Missouri was just 10 miles from us. Oh, nice. Oh, man. Yeah, well, there was we're going to actually talk about the Missouri storms here in a second. There was a ton of hail that went through Texas, some scattered stuff, and then through Missouri there. Lots of hail to go through as well. Started along I-49 just to the northwest of Springfield, tracked all the way eastward into southeastern Missouri, with that large hail that we'll go over here in a moment. And then Louisville, my hometown here, got hit with some large hail as well last night, late in the overnight hours. And so both Missouri and Kentucky ring in our 3- and 4-star maps. So starting with the 4-star map, that one was Louisville into yesterday, crossed from Indiana all the way into the Louisville metro area. So we started out near Corydon and then tracked into New Middletown with up to 3-inch hail. Then as it moved into the Shively area near Churchill Downs, we started to see it resurge and produce more 2.5-inch hailstones all the way south of the Louisville metro area over the airport, and then finally tapered off once it got past Jeffersontown. So just that one swath got us a 4-star map, guys. Max size on that was 3 inches, and it hit plenty of places in the Louisville, Kentucky area. 128,248 homes impacted by that map. If you don't have hail trace yet and you want access to our products, you can go ahead and scan that QR code in the banner up above me, or click the link in our description. You can sign up for a demo that way. Or if you already have hail trace, go ahead and check out this Louisville 4-star map from Monday. Then for Missouri, lots of hail to go around, so only one swath for Louisville, one storm that really got going. Missouri was the complete opposite, had a ton of hail across the southern part of the state. So starting out to the northwest of Springfield here near Center and I guess Drywood, Missouri, got plenty of swaths to go around with that ping pong to golf ball sized hail, hitting some solid population out there. Then once we moved out into eastern Missouri, got a ton of what we call training storms. It's basically like if you think of a train, you got one car after another just following each other. And that was what we got here in Missouri. One storm after the other, just following each other over the same area over and over. Baseball-sized hail with that as well, near Salem, near Bunker. And all of those swaths combined impacted over 39,000 homes. So if you guys want access to that map, it is called Nevada Sunrise Beach, Salem, Missouri hail. And again, that was our 3-star for yesterday. So a couple impactful maps for your Monday. We're getting into an active Tuesday, and then Front Range Wednesday. We're full swing into spring here. So what we've got going on right now with the jet stream, and excuse my voice a little bit, it's allergy season and I'm struggling, but as we get into the Central Plains, we're starting to see this jet stream kind of wiggle through the region. And just those shortwave troughs moving into that area of high instability, high heat, high humidity, it pops storms pretty quickly, guys. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so that's going to continue through the next 24 hours into tomorrow. We see that trough it's starting to swing into the Central Plains, got more of those wiggles coming off of it, and it's starting to tilt. So when we see troughs shifting from the northwest to the southeast, that's kind of them scooping up that unstable air out in front of them, and it tends to produce more severe storms. So we're watching that for Wednesday. It's starting to get into that position Wednesday afternoon, and so we'll see storms with that. And then Thursday, it starts to separate from the main part of the jet stream, but we see this other low pressure system now swinging through the Central Plains, and we could potentially get some pretty intense storms along with that setup. So we're back to back to back here with those storm setups. Right now, still got storms ongoing. This little guy is really trucking along through central Kansas right now, has produced over 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts already, as well as tennis ball-sized hail off of this complex. And this is really cool. I'm going to get into some weather here. But what this does is it just cools the air out behind it and kind of creates its own cold front. And so once that cold front starts to spread southward, then you see storms initiating off of this one storm. So it's kind of like the first storm is the parent storms to more that are going to form later this afternoon with this system. But this is not one to be discounted either. It, again, already has been producing some pretty severe weather, and we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect out ahead of that for 80-mile-an-hour winds and tennis ball-sized hail to continue with this guy. Then down into the Gulf Coast, got another complex that's moving up into Texas and Louisiana, bringing just a whole mess of storms, lots of rain, hail, cloud cover, the works expected through the area into this afternoon and evening as this continues. Then last but not least, yesterday's storms. There's still that system that's tracking off of the coast, and as it moves into that area of the mid-Atlantic, instability associated with that, clear skies, low cloud cover. It's going to help some storms initiate from Virginia all the way through the Carolinas into this afternoon. So lots going on here, but check out those temperatures. I mean, anywhere that storms can form, they will form. So 76 degrees in Kansas City. We're all the way up to 80 in Dallas. Only 70 in Houston, but you got that cloud cover and that rain. So lots of stuff able to initiate in that high heat as well as that high humidity. 68 degrees all the way north in Wichita, Kansas. It is muggy as the day is long through most of the southern plains as well as the southeast today. And once those storms get rocking and rolling, they're going to have plenty of instability to work off of due to those conditions. All right. So the significant hail model here kind of shows what we could potentially form based on all of that put together. So today by around 4 p.m., once that first storm system starts to generate more storms along it, we're already in the moderate to starting to make our run towards higher values here through central Kansas with that first system. And then things are starting to pick up through the Gulf Coast, a little lingering hail chances here and there. It's going to be pretty scattered through there, as well as scattered through the mid-Atlantic early today for our storm risk. So for max hail size, I think it's going to be centered in the Central Plains for this large hail, but I do think we could see some baseballs today. We've seen them for the past couple of days, and we've got the conditions in place to produce some pretty large hail today. So if you guys are in central Kansas, that's really where we're watching for our hail risk. So check out this. Okay, this is our system, and there's that first storm that's going to continue to track down to the southeast. Now we start to see those little baby storms coming off of that complex, and any of these could be producing large hail. Got to kind of zoom out here because we've got a ton that's going to be very scattered, but across a really large region here today with isolated cells forming now just to the southwest of Rapid City, South Dakota, some stuff moving into Nebraska, and this complex still continuing to move through Kansas by around 8 p.m. Central today. So I'm going to continue to see some large hail possible with this one, and then some general gusty winds and possibly some $1.25 to $1/2 sized hail on the north end of the risk today as that continues to track off to the east. And then really that complex just kind of keeps going until it hits really the Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri corridor there, and then it'll start to taper off, and we've got some more rain moving in for your Wednesday morning. Now down in Texas, we've got, again, this whole system, and it's just going to kind of linger there for this afternoon and evening. So here we are by 5 p.m., still a ton of rain. If you guys are anywhere along the Gulf Coast, could potentially see some scattered hail, maybe reaching ping pong to golf ball size. It is Texas, so you never know. And then, you know, in and around Houston, San Antonio, even New Orleans, could get a couple of storms rolling into this evening, producing that larger hail, as well as some gusty winds here and there. And then we'll see more of a complex popping back up for Wednesday morning once again. Houston waking up to some rain and thunder tomorrow. Then for our mid-Atlantic risk, got a few storms popping up through Virginia, through North Carolina. It's going to be scattered, but with any of these, we could see some hail again in the ping pong to golf ball size range as that moves off towards the Atlantic coast. And then by midnight, we should be in the clear. All that should be off the coast, and you guys should be waking up to a very nice morning tomorrow. So for your hail forecast, putting that all together, got all three of those areas in our risk for the next 24 hours. I'm going to start north and just work our way down to the southeast. So if you guys are in the north end of that risk today, again, you saw our future radar. It's very scattered through the area, but we do have the instability to produce some severe hail if storms move through your region. So if you're in Rapid City all the way up to Medora, North Dakota, then you guys should, you know, still be in the risk low end for you guys to see hail today. Then Denver, you guys do have a risk today. I think tomorrow is looking more interesting for you guys. You guys are on the far, far west side of our risk for today. So be on the lookout, but stay tuned for tomorrow as well. Now down into central Kansas, again, this is where the big guys are expected for today. Could potentially see baseball-sized hail anywhere between Salina and Wichita, out west of that complex that's moving down to the southeast right now. So it's kind of right here. Going to continue to track down that way, so you see hail sizes increasing just to the west of that complex. Springfield, Wichita, Salina, you guys have the best chance today to see that severe hail, but if you're in Dodge City and Colby, not out of the woods, still a low-end chance for you guys for storms to reach that far west. Then down into Texas, San Antonio, all the way into New Orleans, you guys could potentially see some hail. The largest hail expected right along the Gulf Coast there, Houston and New Orleans, but still low-end chance across the board. It's going to be pretty scattered. Same story up for the mid-Atlantic, anywhere from Norfolk down into Columbia. Could see severe hail for today, with the largest topping out at around ping pong to golf ball size. For wind, I'm gonna have our bright blue swath on here now because we've already seen some 80-mile-an-hour gusts coming off of this storm, adding in that hatched for right where that complex is tracking into this afternoon. So if you guys are in the north end of the risk, again, from Medora down into Rapid City, even Cheyenne, Denver, you guys could see some gusty winds into this evening. And then Salina, you guys are in a high as that complex gets ready to track over your area. Wichita and Springfield, you guys are in a moderate as well due to that same complex. Then down into Texas, San Antonio, Houston, New Orleans, wind risk for you guys, wind risk for Columbia to Norfolk with those mid-Atlantic storms expected as well. Then for tornadoes, really the only area that's going to be primed for potential tornadoes is going to be through central Kansas, with those that are going to form off of that complex later on. So Springfield all the way into Colby, Kansas, you guys do have a chance to see some rotating storms capable of producing both large hail and potential tornadoes into, you know, the rest of today. Now tomorrow, so if you guys are in Denver, here's your time to perk your ears up a little bit. Tomorrow is where we have more of a front range and high plains risk, all right? So by 3 p.m., around the time these storms are forming, we've got low to moderate instability across the board here, but we do have a pocket of better instability near, you know, just east of Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas. You guys have a chance to see some large hail with that. But Denver, you're in it now. That's the main picture. You guys are in the risk for tomorrow. That instability is starting to push further and further west as the season goes on. So now's the time to start paying attention. So for the southern end of that risk, it's going to go all the way from North Dakota down into Texas tomorrow. But for the southern end, starting to see storms forming by around 5 p.m. Central, shifting off to the east, and then forming kind of a messy line through Amarillo and into Lubbock by around 9 p.m. So a chance for some hail as well as some strong winds through the southern end of that risk. Then into the northern end. So we got that first complex that's going to kind of move out of the way. And then by 5, more storms forming near Casper, a couple of those looking pretty angry, and there you are for Denver with a few storms potentially forming right around the Fort Collins, Greeley area, maybe just north of Denver, with a couple of chances for some hail. So again, forming right along the highway there. This time of year, things usually stay a little far east, so I'm a little doubtful as whether this will play out or not. But we're going to be watching this to see if it will make it that far west and impact the Denver suburbs into tomorrow, so stay tuned. So that's kind of the gist of that, and then it's going to track off to the east, again, forming those complexes that we see so often through this part of the region. But for North Platte, you guys could see some wind and hail with that headed your way, all the way into Rapid City, potential for storms before this just becomes a whole rainy mess for Nebraska through the Dakotas, and then the better half of South Dakota waking up to rain on your Thursday. So, again, it's all the way from North Dakota down into Texas for our risk tomorrow. But if you guys are in Midland, Odessa, all the way up to Woodward, Oklahoma, you have a chance to see some hail. Larger stuff staying where we're initiating from Amarillo to Midland through the Lubbock area, but it's going to be pretty quick turnaround before we start to see more of a wind risk. Then into the north end of the risk, Denver, I'm leaving you in a low for now. We'll see what we get tomorrow. So again, hop back on tomorrow and we'll talk about it. But Denver, you guys do have a risk, and any of those isolated storms that form around there could potentially produce pretty large hail. Just waiting to see where those initiate. We do have a max risk of 2 to 2.5 inches for tomorrow with that pocket of higher instability that we saw earlier. But basically anywhere from Rapid City down into Colby could potentially see at least ping pong ball sized stones. And then again, the largest centered in northeastern Colorado, southwestern Nebraska, where we got the best instability. So that's your risk for tomorrow for hail. Also wind and tornado risk. So extending that risk a little bit further to the east for our wind, and that's the main change for that. So again, if you guys are in Midland, Odessa, all the way up to Woodward, you got a chance to see some gusty winds with tomorrow's storms. Rapid City down into Colby, got a moderate for you guys for tomorrow's wind threat. Denver, once again, in a low, but in the conversation. Then last, we're talking about tornadoes. Got a potential to see some initial isolated storms. Again, when we get those large hail threats driven by supercells, you tend to see tornado threats coupled with that, and that's what we've got for tomorrow. So Casper to Rapid City, down into Denver and Colby, you guys also have a risk to see potential tornadoes into tomorrow afternoon with those storms. So that's it for today. Thanks for staying on, watching our Netflix original with our risks today. You guys can go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And then stay tuned to our stories. We really try to keep it updated with today's forecast, as well as any impactful maps that happen, storm chasing videos, etc. So Instagram and Facebook are a great way to get those stories and that live, up-to-date stuff. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can, again, scan that QR code up above me or hit the link in the description to this video for access to a demo of our products. Or if you guys want to get to know us, you can call us at 855-334-4245, email us at info@hailtrace.com, or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And we'll keep you updated as the risks move forward. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.